Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, head mistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai Bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. In today's video, we're going to be discussing Keiko. What is Keiko? So many people in the martial arts use that word, Keiko, and they use it to describe training in a very generic way. However, the majority of people who are using the word Keiko are using it incorrectly, and I thought that would be a good topic of conversation today. We're going to break down the word Keiko, explain what it truly means, that way you guys can understand what Keiko is and how you can apply true Keiko to your martial arts training. Now, before I begin, I always give a shout out to all of my new viewers. So if this is the first video that you guys have seen of me, my name is Christa Jacobson. I am the head mistress of the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way. We teach koryu ninjutsu and koryu bujutsu, so the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. This organization does have other areas of focus, such as reality-based self-defense, weapons training and tactics, concealed carry, survival skills, martial arts theory, thought and philosophy, martial arts conditioning. If any of those areas at all interest you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell. I do post 2 to 3 videos every single week, so if you guys are interested in any of those topics, please subscribe, click the bell, and keep up with what we're doing. Okay, so today we're going to be discussing Keiko. Now, Keiko is a word that many people use in the martial arts to denote training or practice of the martial arts. And it's not necessarily wrong, but it's not necessarily correct either. Although that is the word that many people use in the martial arts today to denote training and practice, the word has a much more deeper meaning and essence, and a lot of people in the martial arts use the word Keiko and they don't understand the true deeper meaning and the essence of the word Keiko. And that's what I think we should talk about today, because here at the Budo, the focus is to preserve the history and preserve the tradition and to submerge ourselves in the old ways. And because that is the path that this organization takes and the students of this organization takes, I think it's important that we talk about that, and hopefully the students and supporters of this organization can get a deeper understanding of the word Keiko and apply that understanding and essence towards the training that they're doing within this organization. So Keiko, again, although it's used as practice or training, has a deeper essence. If you look at the kanji itself, Keiko, the first kanji, Ke, means to think or to ponder or to reflect or to meditate. And then the second kanji is Ko. It means old or antique or ancient times. That's the idea behind the kanji Ko. So if you use the word Keiko, you're thinking to think of the ancient times, or to ponder the ancient times, or to reflect on the old times, or to meditate on the old ways, right? So all of those kind of ways you can kind of put that concept in your head, or that philosophy. That is the essence of Keiko, right? It's to reflect, it's to think, it's to ponder on the old ways, on the ancient arts. So when you see people doing modern martial arts and they're doing whatever it is and they're like, this is Keiko, this is training. Well, okay, I get that people use the word Keiko for training, but they are using it in an incorrect way, because that's not what the word in its essence meant. It meant, Keiko was meant to be a training or a practice of someone who is in the koryu, like I talked about in my opening introduction, of the old school. So koryu, ko again means old or ancient times. Ryu means like school, what people use today, ryu. Or nagare is another way of saying it, but ryu means like school or tradition. You can also see nagare as flow or thinking or current way of thinking, or the idea behind koryu. If you're studying a koryu, like again in the beginning of my introduction, we teach koryu ninjutsu, meaning the old schools, the old traditions of ninjutsu, and we have koryu bujutsu, so the old schools or the old tradition of samurai bujutsu, right? With that concept of koryu, you have Keiko, and in that Keiko, you are now studying or pondering or thinking of the ancient times, of the old ways. So your training, although you do that through training and practicing and reflecting and meditating, it's still constantly interacting and trying to connect to the old way. And that is where I think a lot of schools disconnect themselves from the old ways. We have to learn the past so we don't make the same mistakes going forward. And that, I think, is something that's extremely important. Now, another word that we tend to see within the training of Keiko, you see people who have a Keiko gi, or sometimes we just shorten it to gi, or uniform. So, or outfit. Gi just means uniform or outfit. So a Keiko gi, right? Again, K means to ponder, think, reflect, meditate. Ko means old times, old, ancient times, ancient ways, whichever way you use it. Or a gi means outfit or uniform. So a keikogi is an outfit or a uniform that you wear when you are training to reflect on the old ways, or training or practicing the ancient ways, right? So that's where all of that kind of gets tied in together. And generally, when people are wearing a keikogi and they are then going to the dojo to practice Keiko in their koryu, they understand the essence or the meaning of dojo. Now, the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way, we have multiple schools and thousands of students all over the world enrolled in the Budo online ninjutsu dojo. And I have been honored to work with thousands of people all over the world. And by doing this for almost 20 years, teaching professionally ninjutsu at a worldwide level, there are many things that happen that are red flags that I know that the students are not practicing true Keiko. One of those things that come up is when we're looking at reviews, they're practicing and we're doing reviews to make sure they know the material. They don't say the Japanese word. So like maybe we're working on kamai, right? Or we're working on ukewaza, or taisabaki waza, or atemi waza, giri waza, this sort of thing, right? And maybe they'll say things like inward block, outward block. And I'm like, well, when you watch the lessons, I didn't use those words. And then you'll hear people say, well, the Japanese words really get to me. Okay, but you're training in a traditional Japanese martial art. Why don't you know the name of the waza? Why don't you know the name of the kata? What is stopping you from learning the correct word to understand a true meaning of what it is that you're doing? You're not learning a martial art that was created here in America. You're learning martial arts from Japan. So you need to understand traditional Japanese culture and the way that they do things and the way that things were, so you could get a deeper understanding of what you're doing. If you're trying to dumb down the arts themselves and put some sort of English translation, your own personal English translation and meaning to something that you just got introduced to on like level 1, Nagashe uke, Morote uke, Age uke, Geiran uke. If you're trying to do your own translation and your own meaning, you're gonna miss so much as to what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. So I asked the students, I say, okay, you have a problem with the Japanese word. You don't want to learn the Japanese terminology when you're learning a Japanese martial art. And I say, well, to me, I already think that's a little odd, but let me ask you a question. And this is the question I ask all of them. How many people in your life knows everything about you? They know your deepest secrets. They know your likes, your dislikes, your favorite movies, the things you love in life, the things you don't love in life. They know everything about you, your favorite foods, your favorite music, your favorite colors, your deepest secrets, the things that no one should know, only select few people. How many people know you and your completeness, but don't know your name? Well, I don't know. I said, well, okay, I'm sure your parents know you and know a lot about you. Yeah, maybe your wife or your husband knows you and a lot about you. Well, yeah. Okay, well, if these people that are very close to you and have a close relationship to you, they all know your name. Yeah, the people that don't know your name, do they know everything about you? Well, no. Okay. Well, if you don't know the name of the damn kata, how are you going to have a close relationship with the martial art that you're attempting to, understand Keiko, and you don't even know the name of the kata? Like, it's at the same level. It's the same gate that you have to pass through in your mind. I know I'm using an analogy that you say, well, that's not the same thing. It's the same gate. When you get up in your mind, it's the same gate. To understand something true at its core, you have to go deep into the essence of what it is. And if you don't understand, you don't even know the name of it, you're never gonna know it, because if you don't know the name and you start putting you automatically give your own translation and your own meaning, you've lost the essence, because you are not the center of what that kata represents. And so I see that's one of them that I get. Another one that's a big one, red flags, we start doing the people in the online dojo, they'll start training, and there's certain times they have to do the workouts. We have various workouts and that we have to watch them do their workouts and make sure that they're keeping their fitness levels up. And I'm watching them do their workouts, and it's just so obvious that they're not doing the required workouts through their Keiko as they're going through their level. And it's so obvious that what they're trying to do is shoot a video just to pass a review and not actually do the training to be better as a martial artist. Because, an example, let's say that you're on level 1, right? You're a white belt, you're working level 1. There's a workout that you have to practice, 3 or 4 times a week, and there's gonna be a point where you're gonna have to show me that workout. Well, if you're doing that workout 3 or 4 times a week, and then 2 or 3 months later, you've now passed all of the required reviews for level 1, and now you have to pass the workout before we take the test, just an example here, right? Hypothetically. And then I watch you do the workout, and it looks like you've never done that workout before. You don't even know what the next technique coming up is. You don't know the next drill. You don't know the next exercise. How do you do a workout 3 or 4 times a week for 2 or 3 months, or however long your reviews take you to get through it, and not know the workout that you've been doing 4 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week? The only way that doesn't happen is if you're not working out. That's the only way. And we'll see lots of students, they're more concerned with, I'm just gonna pass the review because I want rank, and then I'll tell them, like, it's very clear you're not working out. It's very clear you're not doing what we're doing. You have to have true Keiko. Keiko is connecting yourself, the meditation, the reflection, the training, and the practice of the old ways. And then that in itself has another esoteric or a deeper understanding, because that is the complete training of the mind, the body, the spirit, connecting to all the natural energy, the tree, the sun, the moon, the ground, understanding how you have to train your mind to be sharper and faster, and your body to be stronger and faster and quicker. Self-defense techniques, you're doing so many repetitions of certain motion that it becomes a muscle memory and a quick reaction in the time that you need it. So many people, which is one reason why, these people, it's like, well, I do 9 different martial arts. I have issues with that, because it's like, especially, and I can make that for another video, but the point is if you're training your body to be efficient as possible in a intense, violent situation, and you're practicing 9 different inward blocks, that's kind of like having 5 different photo editors on your computer. It's slower to process it because it's got to keep going back. Where if you were a master of this inward block, because it's an inward block is an inward block. Doesn't matter whether you this or whatever that is, right? But different schools do them different ways, which that is not an issue. The issue is the student that believing more is better. More is not better. More is more. Better is better. And you can master something and you don't need all of that, right? So the concept of understanding the mastery of something and to be so good that your skills transcend whatever the technique is, so many people don't want to do that. For some reason, we live in a world where we truly believe more is better, and it's not. But that same concept goes into the idea of Keiko, because now they're not trying to train their mind and body and spirit to be faster, stronger, quicker, sharper. They're replacing training, they're replacing repetition with learning another inward block. So that's why I made the video, that video I made a while back, said don't be a martial art joke. The martial arts, don't be a jack of all trades, master of none. Shodan is initial level student. Shodan is equivalent to a high school diploma. These people, I got 5 black belts in. Are they all 1st degree black belts? It's harder to be a 5th degree black belt or a master of the art than it is to have 5 1st degree black belts. Right? An example, you can have someone that can learn how to count to 10 in 5 different languages, but none of them can communicate outside of the one that they are accustomed to. Like you can say you can count to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or each Nissan Shigo, or whatever it is, right? But they can't communicate because they don't train it good enough to be at a level. Same thing with martial arts. A 2nd degree is a more higher skilled martial artist than someone who has 2 1st degrees. A 3rd degree black belt is much higher skilled at a martial art than someone who has 3 1st degrees. And that in itself is something that's lost. People nowadays try to cut Keiko, use it the wrong way, but they want to use the word because it's a cool word, but they use it the wrong way, and they try to cut corners and then learn the basics of 3 martial arts rather than learning the basics of 1 martial art, and then leveling up to the 2nd degree, leveling up to the 3rd degree, and so on and so forth. For me, I have master level teaching license in everything that I teach. And I think that dedication and discipline and that loyalty to the old ways is something extremely important. Of course, other martial arts schools and organizations have obviously a different philosophy than I do, which is fine. You guys, just whoever you are, you guys can go train somewhere else. It's not, everyone has their own opinion and what they like and dislike. But the Keiko, that training, the pondering of the old ways, that refining your skills, the mind, the body, the spirit, constant repetition, drilling. It's not about doing, it's not about learning 10 different kicks. It's taking 1 kick and being so good at it, you can use that kick in thousands of different situations. The movement, the Taijutsu, the Tai Sabaki Waza, everything goes into play. And it's submerging yourself in this training every day, waking up, doing your workout, doing your cardio, lifting your weights, practicing your kata. Your day has to start in a way that is correct towards, quote unquote, the way of the warrior. And you're training in what it is that you're doing, how you're doing it, and you're taking that and you're pushing that into your life, and that becomes an expression of who you are and what it is that you want to be. And once you can start making yourself better, you can then start helping everybody around you. But if you can't help yourself, you can't help others. And if you can't make yourself better, you're not going to make other people better. You make other people better by setting the example. Anyway, I don't know what you guys learned today in this particular video, but I'm just going to leave you guys with this. If you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu, please check out my website at www.budoninjutsu.com. There you guys can see the 7 traditions, the philosophies and strategies that we teach. If you don't live in the next one of our schools, you guys can always join the Budo online Ninjutsu dojo, and you guys can start training that way. So thank you guys very much for your love and support. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo. Bye.